It is 4:46, so I'm going to go ahead and get things started. First things first, parents, I do want to thank you guys for taking the time for this virtual parent orientation. I know being a parent is the actual busiest job there is, so I do appreciate you taking the time for this. I do want to make this as informative as possible, but also as brief as possible to get you guys back to the remainder of your Tuesday evening. So my name is Eduardo Suarez. I am one of the program directors with Enrichment Masters. You'll be seeing my face around the school, but also all over Broward, because we are servicing, I'm not mistaken, a total of 16 schools this coming fall semester. So we're really excited about that. So I kind of want to give you guys a layout of how this orientation is going to run, just so you guys have an idea. I'm going to kind of, talk a little bit about the programs, Enrichment Masters as a whole, what it is that we do, what it is that you guys can expect. And then at the end, I will open the floor for Q&A. If you have questions, I ask that you put them in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to get to them towards the end of the Q&A session. But yeah, I do ask that you put them in the chat rather than speaking them out loud. That way, we can get through this as quickly as possible, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and just get started. So pretty much, for those of you who may not be aware, what we do is that we bring the specialized enrichment programs to the schools. We want to make it as convenient for you guys as well as affordable. So all of our programs that are going to be happening at Winston Park will be on site, on campus. All right, so you do not have to worry about picking up the students anywhere besides school. So let me pull up my agenda here. There you are. Okay, so the first thing we're going to discuss is the, as I said, what we do, as well as the programs that we're going to be offering. So as of right now, the programs that will be brought to Winston Park are the following. For the fall, we have basketball, drumline, robotics and engineering, as well as sketching and comic books. So I see we already have a lot of registrations already coming through for our start date of next Tuesday, September 6th. Okay, so September 6th will be the first day where, if your child is registered and paid for, they will be going to the Enrichment Masters program. We also have, for the spring semester, we will have chess, track and field, robotics and engineering again, as well as web and graphic design. Now, those specific programs have been chosen based off of what the administration has decided to bring. We, as a company, in the service, we provide 24 different programs that we could bring. We'd love to bring all 24, but logistically it doesn't make any sense. So we cap it at 4, and we allow the administration to select which 4 programs are brought on campus. So those are your options for fall as well as for the spring. So if you're curious, I know I've gotten some emails and phone calls about, hey, well, what are they going to be learning? What are they going to be? Are they going to be just like sitting there playing basketball and that's it? Well, no, it's going to be a lot more than that. We want to enrich the lives of these children, not just give them recess part 2. So if you were curious about what specifically will be covered in the programs, you do not have to do so right now, but if you do get the chance later in time, if you go to our website, enrichmentmasters.com, there is an about page. You go to our programs, you select the program that you want to know more about, and there's a little more info tab that will lead you to a sample curriculum, and it'll kind of go over the lesson titles, what skills and techniques will be practiced in those lessons, to give you guys a more detailed idea of what's going to be taught. And I still see some people shuffling in. Let me let these people in. All right, so I want to go over how the dismissal procedure is going to work. For any parents who have their child in aftercare, that is the on-site aftercare, you guys have probably the least to worry about, because simply what will happen is that the students will report to their aftercare first. All right, they go to aftercare first, let their aftercare counselors know, hey, I'm here, I'm present, but I have drumline today. Okay, cool. We do communicate with the aftercare so that they know exactly who's supposed to come to us and who's supposed to stay and all that stuff. So once their counselor knows that they are present, they will report to us in one singular meeting area. No matter what program they're in, they'll all meet us in one spot. It will be the site liaison, the site supervisor, as well as all the instructors for the programs. From there, they will be escorted to their program locations. They will do their first session, the 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. In there, that's full enrichment time. The site liaison will be walking around, checking in, making sure everything's good. At 3 o'clock, we'll begin the dismissal process. And the aftercare kids, they just go right back to aftercare. Cool, great, love it. If your child is a walker or a car rider, we ask that you guys come pick them up, or you or an authorized adult. For those of you who have already registered your students, at the very bottom, there was a space where you can put authorized adult pickup. So that would mean you or anybody else. Hey, if it's auntie, it's the neighbor, whatever, whoever you authorize to pick them up, we will be able to pick them up. We ask that you bring your photo IDs. I know the kids know, hey, that's mom, that's dad, that's auntie, but we don't know your faces yet. We haven't had the pleasure yet. So please, 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 it is a safety measure that we do need to take. You know, does it get tedious? Totally. And I understand that, but it is a safety measure that we do need to take for the safety of your children. So please have that ready and let anybody else who is on that authorized pickup list know exactly what, know exactly that they need to bring that photo ID. We cannot release children to, oh, I guess, well, I'll trust you. We can't do that. We have to know exactly who we're releasing them to. So that said, we're going to move on to the bikers. If there is any student who is a bike rider, that they ride their bike to school or from school, once the program is done, we will have one of our instructors or staff members escort them to their bike racks. Normally there's a lot more people and teachers and staff there, you know, to kind of see them, make sure that they're doing the right thing, make sure that everyone's getting home safe. So we want to continue that as well. So we'll have someone escort them to the bike rack and watch them go on their way home. As far as dismissal goes, that's really it. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., the procedures are the exact same. Once you come sign them out, you guys are free to go. We can't release any children. If they're walkers, they can't just walk off on their own like they normally would during the school day or during the regular school dismissal. So keep that in mind. We will need an actual sign out for any walkers and or car riders. I'm going to go ahead and move on to, you know, not necessarily the curriculum anymore, but I want to talk about the final projects. All right. The reason that, you know, we started these enrichment programs is like, yeah, no, it's cool that they learn something new and that they're, you know, being exposed to these unique programs. But we don't want them to just mindlessly, as I said, going to a basketball class or mindlessly just going to a sketching class. We want them to work towards a final project. So we work on a project-based model, all right? So to give you an idea of what we mean by that. For example, last year, our drumline, we had a drumline competition between a bunch of different schools that were participating in the drumline program. And we had, we rented out a whole space with a stage. We had like flashing lights and movers, and we had Dillard High School as a guest drumline performance, made a whole spectacle of it. All right, I'm using the word spectacle because I'm sometimes a very theatrical person, so that's what I'm gonna go for. So we wanna make it a big show. We don't want it to just be a, here you go, here's a a vase that I made in pottery. Have fun. No, we want it to be a bigger thing. So that is something that you guys can expect to come with the programs. You know, we want them to learn the basics and learn the techniques, but we also want the kids to feel a sense of accomplishment. You know, it's at this age that kids start to, you know, find what their passion is, whether it be in the arts, whether it be in sports, whether it be in technology, in computer science, things like that. This is really the age where they start to realize what it is that they love, what it is that they're passionate about, and we want to help them get to that point. And that's why we have a diverse amount of programs. You know, we don't want just anything, you know, hey, here's some basketball, here's some soccer, here's some tennis, go have fun. You know, we want to instill that passion in them. All right, so that's something that we really, really strive for. And you can definitely expect for the final performance for this fall semester, which will take place sometime in December before the winter break. You can definitely expect it around then. You know, I want you guys to expect something, I guess I'll just say larger than life, because we don't do average. We never settle for average with what it is that we do with these kids. So I'm gonna move on to some more nitty gritty stuff, the boring stuff, but still very important stuff, which is the payments. A lot of you have already made the payments for the fall semester, or sorry, for the beginning of the fall semester. Some of you have already registered your children for the spring semester, which is awesome, which is fantastic. So the payments are and I'm putting here in quotation marks, on a monthly basis. The reason I put quotations around monthly is because the payment that you've been paying of $50 covers 4 sessions. So you guys are starting next week, Tuesday, so September 6th. So the payment that was made covers September 6th, September 13th, September 20th, and September 27th. All right. After that, we will, there's be 2 ways to go about it. If your child wants to continue in the program, and we hope that they do, that they really start to get engaged and really, really want to keep coming back, we will give you 2 options. You can manually pay for the next month of October, and then there you go, the next 4 sessions are covered. Or you'll have the option to opt for an automatic billing. You know, the automatic billing, it's real convenient if, you know, in case you forget. As I said earlier, being a parent is the busiest job that there is. So if it slips your mind, you know, that'll be there to remind you. So we'll send you a notification a few days prior, letting you know, hey, the payment is coming up in X amount of days, just so you know. That way you don't freak out if money starts disappearing from the account. So that's, you know, we want to have that option available for you guys just in case. So yeah, as far as the payments go, that's really all I really wanted to touch on. So keep in mind the payment that the payments you guys have made, unless you've made multiple, will only cover the first month of either the fall or the spring session, depending on what you've registered for. If you want to pay for all months in advance, you could do that too. You know, there's many ways to go about it, but typically it is on a month-by-month basis. That said, I don't have anything specific that really I need you guys to be aware of. So at this time, you know, like I said, I wanted to keep it as informative and as brief as possible. So at this time, anybody who has questions, go ahead and start throwing them in the chat, and then I will get to them as you know, as they come along.
We will receive a confirmation that our kids is registered, or as long as we have registered and paid, it's done?
So if you have registered and you've paid, then your child's spot is secure. The email that you received, this, you know, the email that you got that invited you to this virtual parent orientation is already confirmation enough that you are registered and confirmed. This is not the only communication we're going to have with you guys. We will have more, we'll be sending out emails through our constant contact platform. That is what we use to email, all the parents. So keep an eye out for your email. You will be receiving much more information. For example, what I mentioned earlier about the meeting location for the program, that is still being finalized by administration. And then once they let us know, we will share that information with you guys. For the robotics and engineering class, do we need to buy the solar robot kits that you have online? You do not need to purchase that specific kit. Those are just suggested supplemental items that our instructors have recommended that to practice their skills at home. However, and that actually brings up a good point, you do not need to purchase any additional materials for the program. You do not need to buy a robot or an apron for pottery and ceramics or anything like that. We bring everything that they need to the program. So whether it be the instructors, the materials, the equipment, the curriculum, we bring everything. Anything that's on our website, on our store, is all supplemental stuff. And some of the items there are just kind of for fun. So like little t-shirts and stuff that say, hey, can't I have rehearsal for the actors and screenwriters, something like that. That is all supplemental. Nothing over there is required. The only thing that's required is the payments for the actual programs. So it's entirely your choice if you choose to purchase it or not. We're not going to tell you yes you have to or no you don't. But the very good question, brought up a very good point. And for any parents who joined in a little bit later, this Zoom call is being recorded and will be made available to you guys. So that, again, if you showed up a little bit late, you'll still be able to get the information that, that I shared with everybody. So what I'm going to do now is, if you have no further questions, if you have no further curiosities or anything that you would like me to clear up, you are 1000% free to go at this time. If you don't have any questions, by all means, feel free to log off and enjoy the rest of your evening with your families. But I will be staying on for the next, let's say, next 10 minutes or so to answer any questions in the chat. But if you are happy, you're good to go, then make it happen. How much in advance should you pay the following month? So I'm gonna hopefully not incorrectly assume that the concern is if I pay the month late, does my child lose their spot? And the answer to that question is no. To answer your actual question, how far in advance? We don't require a specific, it needs to be 2 weeks prior, 3 weeks prior. When we send out the constant contact email saying, hey, the payment is coming up, then that will be the range of when you need to start looking at making the payment if you have not opted for the automatic billing. The only time that the spot is given up or lost will be if the student has the next pay period has begun, the robotics class is going on, there has been no payment made. If after the first class of the next session no payment has been made, then we will have to give up the spot to someone in the waiting list. But again, to answer your specific question, I would look at it a week prior to the next month would probably be a safe one, but there's no required time. Where do the kids meet when it's time to go to the program? So at this time, the specific location of where they're going to be meeting with the site supervisor and the instructors is still being finalized by administration. Once they give us that information, we will be sending you all an email as soon as we know. Obviously the beginning of school year is still going on and there's still some some tweaks that need to be made to their master schedule, and we want to make sure that we're working with them and being as convenient as possible. I saw, okay, no, never mind. I thought I saw a hand up, but it disappeared. So I'm guessing I got the answer. Question answered. You are very welcome. Very welcome. So what I'm going to do also while I'm waiting for more questions to come through, I will I'll send you guys a link to an example of our sample curriculum, just so you guys have an idea of what I was talking about with that. So I'll be sending you specifically the sample curriculum of our drumline, just so you have an idea of what the others are going to look like. That right there is the link to our sample curriculum. Again, if you have no further questions or any further inquiries, you are free to go. I'll be staying here for the next 7 or 8 minutes to answer any and all questions that might still be out there. Can you do dash pass to release students instead to facilitate dismissal? I'm going to be very honest. I'm not familiar with what the dash pass is. I imagine it might be something that might be exclusive to Winston Park. So what, typically what we do is that once the bell rings and students start getting dismissed, the students will come straight to us unless they're in aftercare. We do give them that 5-minute buffer after the, from 2 to 2:05, we're giving them that time to, hey, to get there, get settled, and get ready for the program to start. But again, if I'm being very, very transparent, I'm not sure what Dash Pass is. I'm only familiar with that in the realm of DoorDash. I don't think we're talking about food delivery. Oh, so I'm guessing it's probably something similar to, I forget the name of it, but it's something where the teachers will have on their computer screen the names of students. Hey, Johnny, your mom's car is outside. Go ahead. Go ahead to the front. If it's something similar to that, we can discuss that with administration to see if we can insert ourselves in there. However, this is the first I'm hearing of it, but if it is something that I'm thinking of, Curb Smart was the program that had. So it was something like that where, so yeah, that would be fantastic. So we'll speak to admin over at Winston Park, and then we'll see if we can throw ourselves on there, because that would make things significantly smoother. Yeah, definitely. No worries, happy to help. And again, if you can't think of any questions right now, of course, you can always email us at info@enrichmentmasters.com so that you can, get a response if you try calling us, and if we're in meetings or whatever the case may be, at least through the email, someone can respond to you within 24 hours. All right, parents, so for the 2 of you remaining in here, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this meeting up. I do have another parent orientation at 5:30, and I'd love to get them to the same information as you guys. So yeah, just I hope you all have a fantastic night and stay safe.